All right. So these are my buckets with my cucumbers. I was trying to figure out how to create a cage for the cucumbers to climb up. Something that would allow me to still be able to lift the net pot or the bucket pot off of the bucket to either flush the water or transplant to a new bucket, however, without disrupting the plant too much. So what I came up with is I bought some galvanized fencing from Menards, big box store, and I kind of estimated how big I wanted it to go around here with an opening. So there's an opening on one side of the bucket so I can get to the plant, to the fruit, and I don't have to worry about trying to reach through the holes. And so I did that. I figured out what I wanted for a size. I cut a section of the fence off, and then I folded. What I ended up doing was, first of all, is I cut off like the top rail on one side of the fence, which created these spikes, and I folded over every other one so that I would have an even amount of spikes going through. And then when I cut the fence, I cut it down the center here and folded it over so that I had no sharp points sticking out. Sure enough, there's still sharp edges, but I can deal with all that. Now, the way I designed or decided to do this was by setting this in here, I can literally puncture this through the top. I measured in between the spikes here from this point to this point, and then I transferred all those lines to the top of the bucket. And I honestly, other than the measurements between the holes from like this point to this point, I just eyeballed this line around the diameter. I just took my marker and literally just held the marker and spun the bucket around and then just made my line across like that. So, and then to fasten the cage to the bucket lid, it's basically just stab all this through. I know it's hard to see. I should have done this a while before the cucumbers were planted. I did the tomatoes cages before I planted them into the buckets. You can see I don't have any of the stone clay pebbles in there yet to close up on those, but the other ones I do. So anyways, back to this. Just push it down and then lifting up the bucket, making sure that's pushed down. I'm literally just bending over the tabs with my fingertips on the bottom, and by pushing down on the lid a little bit with my thumb, I create that tension on that bottom cord of the fence so that it's got a snug fit. Sorry for my finger. And then I can literally just pick up the whole thing like this. So as long as the plastic doesn't dry rot and decide to crack and break, that gives me a strong base for my viney cucumbers to climb up, or for me to tie off my tomato plants to, and that's it. Pretty much throw them in the corner under the light. I got multiple lights in here, trying a bunch of different things. Try not to spend any more money than I already have, but that's that. Bye.